about to journey to the world of modern parenting, where we teach you the easy steps to gaining compliance in your children. Why are my kids not listening to me? Don't you wish there was a simple recipe to follow to gain compliance in your children? Well, I don't have a listening cookbook, but what I do have is years' experience helping parents gain compliance with their children. We're about to journey to the world of modern parenting, where we teach you the easy steps to gaining compliance in your children. It's about to get hot in here, so if you can't take the heat, I say, get out of the kitchen. Let's get started. The following takes place at 3:15 p.m. in an undisclosed home.
Alex, you're not getting your homework done. What is the problem? How many times do we have to talk about this?
I can't, it's hard.
It's hard? Oh, please, Alex. What's so hard about it?
I can't do it.
I need you to get your homework done after school. You keep whining like that, you're gonna flunk right out of school. Is that what you want?
Whatever.
Whatever. Keep giving me an attitude and you're grounded. How about that?
I hate you and I hate school.
Okay, you're grounded then.
What you just witnessed is a parent who is attempting to gain compliance from her child with respect to completing homework, something many parents do struggle with. The end result of this attempt was that both the parent and the child became angry, and the conversation veered away from doing homework, and the parent's mission was shut down. Your mission as a modern parent will be to get this expectation set and to be certain that it is followed through with. Let's get started teaching you and showing you how to get this accomplished. Hello, and thank you for joining me today. This video is going to focus on the 3 easy steps to gaining compliance in your home. Before we get started, let me ask you to grab a pen and a pad of paper so that you can jot down some notes as I'm talking. You're going to learn a lot of information today, and I want to make sure you get it all. Now, having your children listen to you and do what you say, well, that would be a miracle. But by following the 3 easy steps to gaining compliance with me today, that will be a reality in your home. Now, before we dive into the 3 easy steps, let me answer the burning question on all your minds. Why are my kids not listening to me? Well, there are several reasons why children don't listen. It differs from home to home. I have a list of some common reasons why children don't listen. In order for me to compare my list with yours, why don't you take a few seconds to either write down some reasons or think of some reasons why your own children aren't listening to you. Then we'll look at my list and you can compare it with yours. And it's okay if they don't match up, because there are many reasons why children don't listen. Go ahead and take a minute. The 4 common reasons why children don't listen include 1. To escape a task altogether. This way your child gets out of it. 2. to delay something they've been asked to do. 3, perhaps your child doesn't know how to do what you've asked them to. Or 4, your child may actually enjoy upsetting you just to see your reaction. These are the 4 common reasons why children don't listen. And now, what you've all been waiting for, the 3 easy steps to gaining compliance. Number 1, create the blueprint. Number 2, put your blueprint in action. 3, add the final touches to your blueprint. Now you've seen the word blueprint a few times here. In just a few minutes, we'll explain to you what this means. The parenting blueprint is the first step to gaining compliance. Why are we going to call it a blueprint? Well, it's kind of like following that recipe we talked about earlier. We need a master plan so we know exactly how to get our kids to do what we want. Now, when thinking of your master plan or your blueprint, you parents need to create a to-do list for your children. Now, many of you might say, well, I tell my kids, don't jump on the couch. Don't eat with your mouth open. Don't run in the house. Well, that is your to-don't list for your children, not the to-do list. And when we forget to give our children a to-do list, they kind of forget what we expect them to do. Think about when you run to the grocery store to do your weekly shopping. Don't you carry with you your grocery list, the items that you want to buy so you know exactly where to go, what aisles you'll find the items in, and what you need to bring home at the end of the day? Imagine now going to the grocery store with your don't buy list. So you walk through the grocery store and you say, okay, don't buy milk, check. Don't buy bread, check. And before you know it, you end up in aisle 7 going, what is it I'm here to get again? I don't know because I didn't give myself a to buy list. It's kind of the same principle. When you set your to-do list with your children, you're going to answer a few questions. This is going to help you stay on track. So before you ask your child to do a new behavior, you want to answer the following questions. What do I expect my child to do? Be specific so that both you and your child understand. The next thing you want to ask is, where do I want this new thing to happen? Where do I want them to do this new chore? The third thing you're going to ask is, how? How do I want this done? Many of us have different ideas about how we want the beds made in our house, how we want the dishwasher loaded, how we want the dishes put away, or the towels folded after they come out of the dryer. You need to be specific in your home so that your child knows exactly how you expect things to be completed. And lastly, you'll want to answer the question of what is considered complete or finished with respect to the chore or new responsibility you're asking your child to do. Let's think about when your children do homework. In my home, this is what it looks like. What means I want your homework completed. I want the questions answered. I want to check them over and tell you that you've done a good job and that your homework is done correctly. How do I want it done? I want it done using a pencil and a piece of paper, answering the questions that way. Where do I want it done? Well, in my house, I expect homework to be done at my kitchen table. In your house, you might want your children to do their homework at the desk in their room, in the living room on the sofa, or perhaps you're okay with them doing their homework on the bus. That's why we need to be specific. And when it's considered complete is when you say so, but you need to define that for your child. Let's take a look at a slide that will show you what my parenting blueprint for completing homework would look like. While you're looking at mine, take a few seconds to write down one of your own for a new behavior you expect in your home. What you see here is a typical to-do list for a child in my home completing homework. So what do I want them to do? Complete their homework. When should it be done? By 5 p.m. every day. Where do I want this done? At my kitchen table. And what do I consider complete? That's right, all the questions should be answered and checked by me. If you have time right now, push pause real quickly and come up with a parenting blueprint for your home for something you want your children to start doing. Now that we have our to-do list and our child knows exactly what we want them to do, we need to plan for the consequences. When our child remembers to do what we've asked them to do, what consequence will they get? And when our children doesn't do what we want them to do, what consequence will they give up? Now, in thinking about consequences, you want to have a good consequence for when your child remembers or chooses to do what you've asked. And then you want to have a consequence when your child forgets or chooses not to do what you've asked. Notice the words that I'm using. They earn when they do good. They give up when they don't do good. This is a choice your child is going to make. This takes some of the responsibility off you, the parent. It also alleviates you of this title of the big, mean parent. You're not in control of the consequences. Your child is. They begin to learn the power of their own choice and how the choices they make will affect their lives and the fun things they get to do day in and day out. You want to make sure that the consequences you choose are fair, equal, and logical. For example, if your child bends down and ties a perfect shoe, the rabbit ears are through the loops, they're perfect, that's great. But it doesn't mean you're going to buy them a brand new car, right? So come on, parents, you want to make sure that the consequences you pick are equal, fair, and logical. Make sure it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back and look at that homework to-do list, and let's add the consequences for my child and see how the plan begins to come full circle when we add the consequences. Let's take a look. Okay, parents, if you go back to the to-do list we created earlier, you'll see the behavior I expect, when I want it done, where I want it done, and what I consider complete. Now, the last thing you'll see is the consequence I've assigned. If my child does all that I want them to do with respect to homework, then my child will earn the privilege to stay up and watch their favorite TV show at night before bedtime. That's their consequence. When they do their homework, they earn the privilege of watching their TV show. Now, if you created your own parenting blueprint, now would be a great time for you to pause again and add in a logical consequence for your home. Why don't you go ahead and do that now? Okay, parents, now you've created your to-do list, you've chosen your consequences. Now we're ready to plan the time. We have to think about this. Before we sit down and have this new conversation with our child, we need to plan a great time to talk to them about it. We want to give them a little bit of notice prior to asking them to do something new, something they're not used to doing. You want to think, when will my child be available? So that I don't interrupt them. When will there be enough time for us to have a discussion? And I want to try and give them about 24 hours notice before I expect them to do this new thing in my home, right? Now, a special note. Some of you who are watching might have small, young children, maybe 2, 3, 4 years old. It's okay to set this new conversation in place with them 24 hours ahead of time, but you also want to be aware that it would be hard for them to remember. And so reminding them right before you expect the behavior to occur is okay as well. And really, some of us old people kind of need a few reminders now and then as well. So it's okay to give your child a slight reminder before you want them to do this new behavior. To demonstrate the essence and importance of planning the time, my colleague Paula is going to join us so her and I can demonstrate what it looks like when a parent plans time to talk with her child and gives them some notice, and when a parent forgets to plan the time and kind of throws this new expectation on their child. Let's take a look at that. Paula, I need you to get in the kitchen right now and rinse off the dishes and get them put in the dishwasher, and I'm gonna expect you to do that every night starting right now. Wow, I didn't really plan a great time to talk to Paula, did I? I kind of bum rushed her with some demands, didn't give her much time to process or plan for what I'm expecting her to do. This isn't really respecting her time. Let's take a look at this again when I do plan the time and give Paula some notice. Paula, you did a fantastic job clearing all the dishes off the table last night. And so starting tomorrow night, I expect you to rinse the dishes off in the sink and then load them all in the dishwasher after dinner.
Okay, that doesn't sound so bad, Mom.
Thank you. The difference there was that I gave Paula 24 hours notice before the new thing was expected, right? So I'm asking her to do something new, something she doesn't currently do, and I'm giving her about a day to process that, let it sink in, so that she can get on board tomorrow. Let's take a look at a scene where a mom chooses a good time to talk to her son about a new thing she wants him to do. Let's take a look. Hey, Corey, how you doing?
Oh, hey, Mom, what's up? How are you?
Good. Listen, I wanted to tell you that I noticed that you brought all the towels to the laundry room last night without even being asked, and that was super helpful.
Hey, no problem, Mom, anytime.
All right, so listen, I need you to also remember that every night before dinner, you're supposed to empty the clean dishes out of the dishwasher and put them away in the
Oh,
cabinets.
do I really have to? I really don't want to do that.
I know it could be difficult for you, but what is it that I expect you to do?
You want me to put the dishes away before dinner every night?
That's right, good listening. And when you remember to put all the dishes away, you're gonna earn the privilege of 1 hour of internet time every night.
All right, I can deal with that.
But if you forget to put the dishes away, you will not earn any internet time on that night. So, what privilege will you earn when you remember to put the dishes away?
Mom, I really heard you already.
I understand, but I need you to tell me what I expect you to do.
I earn 1 hour of internet time every night when I put the dishes away.
Good, and if you forget to put the dishes away, what privilege will you give up?
Really, Mom?
Really?
I will not earn the privilege to talk to my friends on the internet.
Awesome, you totally understand what I expect. Thanks so much. The mother in this scene is positive and upbeat. She picks a great time to talk with her son. He's available and the room they speak in is private. She opens her expectation with the child using a positive statement. She's able to get the child's buy-in quickly and reduces the likelihood that he's going to protest. Her timing was great and the child got on board with her expectation. Mission accomplished. Good job, Mom. So now you must all be asking yourselves, how did that mom get that child to buy in so quickly and totally agree with what she was asking him to do? Well, this is one of the biggest secrets in gaining compliance. We call it a spoonful of sugar. A spoonful of sugar means you open up this conversation with your child using a congratulatory statement, focusing on something your child does well, pointing that out. This kind of softens the blow of what's about to come next. It makes it a little easier for your child to digest.